Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EUR+. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look today at euro currency and the cable. So cable just because I think that it was, well, really a decisive moment for Great British Pound, as finally Bank of England has taken the step and increased the rate the first among all other developed central banks. And it was really long-term expectation from the market society when it will happen. Finally it happens. Well, of course, it will not resolve a lot of problems that stand in the economy of the United Kingdom currently, but still, I think that this is really important and we can see reaction on the market. That's why we need to take a look at least briefly on the technical situation, what's going on there. And as usual, we will take a look at the euro currency, although here, as you can see, reaction was not as strong because European Central Bank has tried to be in major trend with the Fed, with the Bank of England, but currently just can't do this, because it has no tools to do that, and the overall situation in the economy of the European Union stands absolutely different compared to the United States, for example. But still, they have tried to support this overall tendency with the changing policy or something of that sort. So they have given some minor hints that PEPP program should be contracted, and this will be carefully watching for inflation and so on. But it was really a very minor change in the overall statement. So as you can see, reaction still on euro currency has followed, but currently it is stumbled a bit. So in the first moment where it was mostly emotional reaction, when traders have seen that something is changing in the rhetoric of the European Central Bank, they going forward, start buying and pushing price higher. But within a few hours, and just looking back on what has happened, it has appeared that actually not big things has happened, and it's no big reasons for significant growth here. Still, some background, some momentum has been put with the current performance and overall sentiment around changing policy globally, starting from the Fed and Bank of England, Bank of Japan, Bank of Canada, so anywhere. This makes some support to risk assets. So mostly, the reaction mostly is then due the changing of the equilibrium. So if for a Fed decision, markets more or less have been prepared. So we also discussed this in our weekly report, that with the numbers that we see, definitely Fed should say something more hawkish. And that has happened. So reaction has followed, but it was not very strong because mostly it was priced in already. While on the cable and on the European Union Central Bank, it was not as evident expectations that should happen, and that's why reaction was stronger. But it doesn't mean that now the euro stands in advance compared to the dollar, and the same is about the Great British Pound. It stands in advance to the United States dollar and should keep the trend. This is mostly short-term reaction of the changing balance between the currencies, but not the changing of the domination, I suppose. So I do not see currently reasons with the expectation of the 3-rate hike in 2022 and contraction of the bond buying program from the Fed. I will not be surprised if even they will accelerate with this. I do not see currently the background for changing of the major trends. The dollar should start dropping while the cable and euro currency should start rising. No, I think that this might be a more extended reaction to the upside, but probably it will be temporal. So, that being said, let's take a look what's going on the euro currency. We could see that market stands now in consolidation with this rising volatility. We have to change the shape of the triangle that we have discussed previously with the market top above this area. We currently can't support the idea of the butterfly. So, because market actually with this spike recently has erased it. Now we need to keep an eye on what patterns might be formed here on the daily chart. Trend here stands bullish, but market mostly stands sideways, flat. So it means that, well, bearish pressure still exists here, and it hasn't disappeared. And with the lack of the clear bullish pattern for position taken on the daily chart, well, we don't have sufficient background. So our opinion currently. Despite that, we have the trend. At the same time, on the intraday charts, some trades might be taken, could be taken. So somebody of you, I know that you're keeping the long position since this retracement has happened on euro currency. So potentially on the 4 time frame chart, we could consider this pattern with the target around 114. So it might be, especially as we discussed recently, we've got this triple 2 pattern. So take a look. It might be some ABCD with the 114 target. With this acceleration, some euphoria around changing of the strategy by the central bank. So it could last for a while. And with the retracement, then it might be maybe minor ABCD pattern could be formed here as well. Something of that sort. So it could last for a few sessions, I suppose, in the beginning of the next week. But hardly it will lead to big rally in euro currency. That's what we have on the euro. In a very short-term perspective, we need to keep an eye on retracement. This, by the way, you could watch and use for position taking. So, for example, the market will show the ABCD retracement here. This ABC top D pattern. This will be OP around 1286, which also makes an agreement with the major 50% support. Later, it could lead to some ABC top D pattern to the 114 area, as I said on the 4 time frame chart. Currently, you can see market has formed. Here, sell-off was really strong. So in fact, this is a huge engulfing pattern. Now market has formed Gadget's triple to sell, and take a look, we have the bearish grabber right here. So it means that market should drop at least below this area. So maybe retracement, I don't know, currently difficult to say, but taking in consideration of this sell-off, I think that OP and 50% around 113 area easily could be reached. So that's probably an area that you could keep an eye on if you would like to take the long position. So that's actually what we have in the euro currency. The drop below this area and starting dropping lower, well, it will be a negative sign, and it could tell you that maybe we even won't get this ABCD retracement. But currently, it is possible, and you could keep an eye on this scenario. Speaking on the cable, it's very similar setup. So on the daily chart, we finally have got some pullback up from the support area that we have discussed, where market was not able to pull back for a long time. But currently, with this rate change, we have the bounce. Potential on the 4 time frame chart, we have some kind of the round bottom. So it's also called as a cap very often. And we need to get some handle. Also some retracement. That could lead you to take the long position if you would like to. So here is also, it's a big question whether we will get really straightforward upward performance. But based on the thrusting momentum and based on the decision on the rate hike, some bullish sentiment should stay on the market, and with this performance, market has not bad chances to show at least minor continuation here. So currently we are watching for this cap. Now this will be the handle and possible upward continuation, maybe in some way of the ABC pattern or something of that sort. Speaking on the retracement, here is the same stuff as in the euro currency. So we have the ABCD on top. A few levels that you could consider. First one is 32.90. This is confidence, support, and agreement with the COP. I suppose that might be primary area to consider taking the position. Next one will be around OP, 132.67 approximately. So you can see natural support resistance here with the OP, but this level, well, currently seems at least more reliable. In the validation point, all of this stuff will stay somewhere below this trend line. It's just because from the market mechanics, it should be wrong situation if price will return back in the consolidation and break it down. Because here we see definitely the acceleration on the rate decision. Now it's if all the rate decision will be erased, the market drop below the 618 and below the trend line, this will tell you that nothing will happen. So that's why whatever you will intend to take the position, either here or here, that's probably an area that you could treat as an invalidation point here for this setup. So that's what we have actually on the euro and cables. Today's Friday, so we're considering only short-term stops, and later we will see how durable this reaction will be. Something tells me that it should not be too long. too extended. Maybe for a few sessions we will get some upward action, but in the perspective of the weekly chart, hardly we will have some significant reversal, as on the cable as on euro currency.